I posted on Monday about my brothers were in town and they are quite the drinkers. So kind of had a drinking Sunday, and I know people are headed to Vegas and doing, you know, summer things right now. And I talk a lot about how to handle these situations, and I want you to understand how human I am when I come across with those things, right? So the N3 method that I talk about was literally because Chuck and I went to Cancun to celebrate the new body I had, and I felt good, and I wanted to be on a beach, and I wrecked it and had what I called a macro meltdown. I came back 10 pounds heavier after losing 30, and I just could not believe what happened. So since then, I've come up with what I call the N3 method, which basically helps you balance your day without having to track everything in MyFitnessPal, right? So, by being a little bit mindful, knowing that alcohol is going to be treated by your body the way that you digest it as a carb or a fat, making sure that you get lean protein and volume food so that you have food in your belly that's not throwing your day off whack, right? So back to my brothers are in town. They come on Sunday, and there's this great coffee place that we wanted to try. Well, they're an hour and a half late, so we miss coffee. So when we start, riding our bikes down, we're going to this beach shop to go look at swimwear, and it just starts raining its ass off. So we make a quick little turn and end up someplace that had bottomless mimosas, right? So fortunately, before they came, I had an egg white and spinach breakfast, and I just held off on anything else, right? I had my coffee, I had my egg white and spinach, knowing that we would be somewhere where maybe coffee would get a little fatty, something like that. Well, now we end up at brunch, right? So I know I'm having a couple drinks, and they're going to have carbs and fat in them. So had that to start, alternated with water because I do not drink. So if I do not keep myself hydrated, there's like no chance I'm going to feel okay. When it came time to order brunch, I had a salad with chicken on it, asked for the dressing on the side because, as you know, my Make Salads Healthy Again campaign that I'm running, most salads come out covered in dressing and bacon and cheese and egg, and all of those things are in the fat category. So by having a plain salad, which their salad was fantastic because it wasn't loaded with stuff, and keeping the dressing that they offered on the side, or even going with something like plain vinegar and Splenda, now I kept it to lean protein, being the chicken, and salad, which fills up your belly, right? You actually have things to chew on and work through, and not a lot of carbs with it. So even when you go to something like a wrap, I was talking to one of my nudes, we as a Nude Nation culture do so well purchasing low carb wraps. When you go to a restaurant, guys, realize that's not what they have. They don't care about your macros. So if you order a wrap thinking, oh, it's lighter, it A, could be the same as doing a sandwich, and B, no doubt has more carbs than the massive amount of salad or vegetables or something that you could have that could keep you satiated, full, feeling good, and balanced. Okay, so we get done with that meal, we go shopping for a little bit, and then we end up at another bar, right? So you order another drink, and instead, even Chuck, who doesn't have to watch his macros like me, was like, I think I'm just gonna do some grilled chicken tenders because I don't want all that fat and stuff. So now we're out drinking, and not only are my carbs and fats adding up, but again, I have another chance to do something better and not go with chips and dip and not sit there with fried buffalo something. It's like, make that one decision to do grilled lean meat and be that much better. It's not that hard to do. I know the easy thing to do is to say, whatever, I'm drinking, I'm going to do what I want. But when you've done this for so long and you look at fried chicken fingers as something heavy, the last thing you want to do is add something to that. When you start getting your macros clicking and you're feeling right and there's balanced food, guys, it's amazing how good you can feel. I mean, if I set up my day right and I work in pizza, I can slam a pizza and not feel gross and bloated because it actually still fit into the caloric setting and the macros that I'm looking for. So back to it. Then fortunately we go to dinner with my parents who are macro counters. So we had scallops and vegetables and salad and some potatoes. Sure, I had a couple potatoes, right? Because I'm 5 drinks in on the day. But I gave into something like that, but still in moderation. I remember thinking, I just need 3 or 4 of these. I don't need to clear out the bowl of them. I don't need to go over and beyond. And that was it for the day. So woke up the next day. Sure. Did the scale move? Yes. Did I eat normal? No. Did I do better than I would have? Absolutely. I could have just thrown everything to the wind, but instead, all of these little things added up, and not in the sense of being so disgusting that I'm upset with myself and beating myself up. It's like, you know what? I did what I did better than I could have, got right back on it, right? So back to my morning cardio that I always do, back to the planned food that we had in our kitchen, all of those things. So there's a couple points to notice here is that when you start to understand the foods that work together and you are mindful of your decisions and don't be like, oh, I was so hammered, I couldn't. All right, if we're that hammered, there's something else going on. I had quite a lot to drink and still my habits prevailed, right? Still being goal-minded that the next day that I woke up, I wanted to be okay with what I did. And if I wasn't, get right back to it, right? Not just continue this cycle of, oh, well, this happened and I'm just gonna, whatever. It's gonna be what it is. It's like, no, you have a chance. We all have to eat. We all have to survive, and we all have a chance to do something a little bit better. So have grace with yourself. Realize that even I do things like drink more than I planned on, but that there are ways to do better, and that some of the excuses that you want to throw out about, oh, well, I was so hammered I didn't even know, are not relevant, right? So you're just putting a blockade between you and what you want to do. So get over it. Do better the next time that you can. If I could think about what I would have done better on that day, probably wouldn't have had some of the sugary drinks that I had, right? But then the waiter comes over with samples, and guys, you know I love free stuff, and then it was good, but probably would have cut back on the sugary ones. And probably, if I really had to get down to it, cut myself off a little bit earlier, because I just don't drink that much. I cannot hang with my big brothers. It just doesn't happen. But it's okay. And I'm human, and I'll get back to it. And because I'm someone who once in a blue moon turns up, who cares, right? Still have confidence in myself to get right back on it, to log in here and tell you guys what happened. And I'm just going to continue to do a little bit better, learn a little bit more. Maybe I found my limit on drinks and I don't want to go that far, but whatever it is. All right, guys. Well, always appreciate you. Would love some more questions. Would love some comments and feedbacks on what you guys have learned, or what, even the self-talk that you have with yourself when you're out and what you're thinking. And I don't know. Let's get some dialogue going. Don't always just make it me sitting here alone in my kitchen with people making dirt outside. All right. Well, you guys have a good rest of your Wednesday. Let me know what you think. See ya.